what are the effects that watching porn, especially as a young lad, what are the effects that it has on your brain?
It screws with your dopamine receptors, your reward circuitry. It screws with your motivation, right? Because dopamine, people think dopamine is like the feel-good chemical, which is not quite right. Dopamine is like your reward chemical. It's like dopamine is what you get for pursuing something. You don't really get dopamine when you achieve something. You get dopamine by working towards a goal, right? And so that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to make us hunt the gazelle, right? Or whatever.
Is that like an analogy?
No.
Come here, Linda.
The first time is not an analogy. Okay, so that's what the dopamine is supposed to do for us.
Yeah.
So, and you could look at pursuing a woman as, if any man who's walked up to a pretty girl at a bar or talked to a lady in the street, you should get a feeling of dopamine, like a good rush.
It's a high.
It's a high for even if it goes well or not.
Yeah,
you
completely.
get the high because you're taking action towards a goal. Cool. So we cut out the entire work, cut out the actual pursuit part, and we just go straight to the reward, which for the male brain is like female sexuality. Okay, well now the brain is just getting bombarded with all this dopamine, and the receptors, the same way that you become resistant to a drug.
Yeah.
The receptors no longer work as well. It requires more dopamine to have the same kind of effect. So they get nullified like that. Okay, well now we lose all motivation. We lose all drive. The real world doesn't give our brains, or the teenage boy's brain, doesn't give his brain enough dopamine to pursue meaningful goals or hit the gym or build a business or talk to a pretty girl. It's nowhere near as rewarding and stimulating. Same effect is happening with TikTok.
Yeah, it's the scrolling.
Instagram Reels, all this stuff, even Twitter to a degree. It's doing the same thing that Pornhub is doing to teenagers.
On probably a less extreme scale, maybe not that much, I
don't think, it's targeting different parts of the brain, but it's still kind of doing the same problem, causing the same problem. It's screwing up their dopamine reward circuitry and thus screwing up their ability to really have delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. You need to cultivate delayed gratification to be successful at anything in life. How long did it take you to prepare for that last show?
Oh my God, it was 4 months in total. And so I'll actually tell you on that. So the reason I did that was because I was getting complacent in life. I was getting too comfortable. Like you said, regular sex, villain, everything was just, felt myself just getting comfortable. I said, I need a challenge. I need a journey. I need a chase. And it was like the biggest form of monk mode. I stopped eating out fancy dinners, super focused, giving myself that delayed gratification. And now, went out for dinner last week, went a night out, it was like a dopamine reset.
Yes.
It actually really was. Yep. So like you said, delayed gratification. And it's funny that we're quoting Alex Hormozy on this podcast, but he said your level of success is defined by your delayed gratification.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
Yeah. And that's actually something that guys can practically do to fix that if they want to get off porn, if they want to get off TikTok. My friends call it TikTok brain.
Yeah. What
a lot of younger kids have these days. If you want to kind of break that cycle, break that habit, you have to do a dopamine detox. You have to really cut. So for example, if a kid wanted to say, I want to stop watching porn, okay, cool. Yeah. I'd tell him, great. Going cold turkey is going to be difficult. If you can do it, by all means, that's the shortest path there.
Yeah.
But if you can't, if you're struggling, well, cut back your TikTok use.
Wow.
Cut back your social media use. Cut back your Instagram use, right? Cut these things down to give your brain more breathing room. And you'll find that this will be much easier. The Pornhub stuff will be much easier because you're giving yourself a little bit more resilience and brain power to work with by reducing these ones too, right? And then cut out sugary foods, cut out alcohol, right? Cut out these things that give you a immediate spike reward for doing nothing.
Yes.
So if you cut these things, these are all part of the same problem. So we just start cutting all of these things out, and we can completely give our brain a chance to reset back to factory settings the way it should be.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now after that. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah, and so with when it comes to giving up porn, did you used to watch it, or because you were in it?
I did.
And so how did you give it up?
I mean, I looked at it when I was in it. It was like I was kind of studying it.
Yeah,
more than
player replay. Yeah,
yeah. More, it's like
replay.
watching game footage.
Yeah, action
right?
replay. Yeah.
But I'm looking at the angles. I'm looking at what kind of moves can I do? Trying to come up with like a new move.
Yeah.
You know, what can I do? Like to spice things up a bit.
Yeah.
Transitions. I'm looking at it from like
your business.
Yeah, I'm looking at it very differently.
Yes, for sure.
than the average guy.
Yeah, so, very different.
And consider like if I go onto Pornhub now, I know the people.
Yeah,
I can't. It's like not only is it like. I know that guy. Nope. I know that guy. It's also like, oh, that chick's a bitch. No.
Yeah. She was super rude to me that one.
Exactly. I don't want to watch her. I don't want to.
Yeah. So
it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. So nowadays you don't watch porn, really, no?
I'm not gonna. Occasionally I'll fap here and there.
Yeah.
I think strategic fap.
Yeah,
it's probably a better way of saying it.
What is it? There's actually a really funny study, and they go 7 days is the perfect amount. Your testosterone and everything goes up. Then you just turn weird.
Yeah.
So, they're like, so you gotta do it on 7 or 8 days.
Dang, that's the peak.
It's so funny.
That's where no fat peaks.
Yeah, exactly. But I pretty much gave it up too. Just when I started, living with my girlfriend, I would just feel really weird being in the same house. It was a beautiful blonde girl downstairs. So
that makes sense.
Just dip down. But I remember, back when I did watch a lot of it, you get that, the post-nut clarity, and you feel kind of like, demotivated. Like you're never going to watch porn, jack off, and want to go to the gym and do a fucking podcast and a business call.
Yeah.
Never,
ever. And but you'll find the complete opposite when you start getting into nofap or whatever. As the days stack up, the motivation kicks in more. You want to get out and want to conquer the world.
Yeah, exactly.